The brutal beauty of grimdark worlds. There is a strange kind of beauty in darkness, not the kind you find in pristine landscapes or noble victories, but in chaos, in blood, in suffering. In the way a broken sword catches the light, in the silence after a battlefield has grown cold, in the resolve of a character who knows they will fail but fights anyway. This is the heart of grimdark, a genre where nothing is promised, where hope is a flickering flame, and where beauty does not shine, it bleeds. Today we explore the brutal beauty of grimdark worlds, from the war-torn planets of Warhammer 40k to the cursed kingdoms of Dark Souls, from the monster-infested wilds of The Witcher to the cosmic nightmares of Bloodborne. This is not just a celebration of violence and suffering. It is an exploration of why we are drawn to these bleak stories, why we find them powerful, and why sometimes the darkest places reveal the deepest truths. Let's begin with what grimdark is and why it matters. Grimdark is more than a visual tone, more than rusted armor and crimson skies. It is a worldview, a lens through which we see stories that do not offer salvation, only survival. In grimdark, the world is broken, power is corrupt, institutions are rotted from within, heroes are flawed, often selfish, sometimes monstrous, and the line between good and evil is not just blurred, it's erased. But within that despair, there is something undeniably compelling. Grimdark doesn't lie to us. It doesn't promise that things will get better. It tells us that they probably won't, and yet the story goes on. Characters fight not because they believe they will win, but because giving up is worse. Because even in a world without hope, action still matters. This is the philosophy of Grimdark. But what about its beauty? That beauty lies in contrast. In a ruined world, a single act of kindness becomes powerful. In a battlefield soaked in blood, a quiet moment of reflection becomes sacred. When everything is stripped away, ideals, innocence, even dignity, what is left behind is raw humanity. And that is where Grimdark shines. Take Warhammer 40k for example, a universe where there is only war, where the Imperium of Men is a nightmarish faceless machine, where billions die in meaningless conflict, and yet there is grandeur. The towering cathedrals built into butter cruisers, the roars of space marines charging to the jaws of death, the hymns sung before planetary annihilation. There is horror, yes, but also awe. The scale is terrifying, but it is also majestic. In Dark Souls, kingdoms crumble into dust, monarchs go mad, warriors lose their purpose. Yet every ruined castle, every lonely bonfire, every echoing corridor tells a story. The beauty is not clean, it is eroded, fractured, decayed, but it is still there. In the silent snowfall over Anor Londo, in the haunting theme music of a forgotten night, in the determination to light the fire again even if it means death, The Witcher shows us a world where humans are often more monsters than the beast they fear. Geralt, a professional killer mutated to feel no emotion, constantly restless with his own fading humanity. The villages he visits are often corrupted, consumed by greed, fear, or ignorance. And yet, in the modern blood, moments of grace still emerge. A decision to spare a cursed soul, a laugh shared with a friend, a refusal to become the monster everyone believes he is. In Bloodborne, the beauty is surreal and nightmarish. The city of Yharnam is drenched in gothic dread. Every alley holds unspeakable horrors. The more you learn, the worse the truth becomes. And yet, the artistry of it all is undeniable. The towering cathedrals, the swirling sky filled with unknowable stars, the transformation of beasts into gods. It is a waking dream of madness, terror, and elegance. So why do we, as audiences, find this brutality beautiful? Because it feels honest. Grimdark strips away the illusion that life is fair. It acknowledges suffering. It stares into it without flinching. And yet, it does not glorify it mindlessly. The violence has weight. The choices have consequence. The stakes are real. There is no safety net. And that makes every small victory feel earned. In a traditional heroic tale, a character wins because they are good, brave, or chosen. In Grimdark, a character wins because they survive, because they're clever, or cruel, or simply because fate spares them. And when they lose, it is often because the world was never on their side. This doesn't mean Grimdark is about giving up. Quite the opposite. It's about continuing in the face of despair, about resisting the pull of the abyss, about making your own meaning in a meaningless world. And that is something deeply powerful, something that resonates, especially in a world that often feels unstable and uncertain. There's also the craft. The creators behind these stories put immense effort into designing worlds that feel lived in and layered. From the tiniest detail in a ruined cathedral to the lore hidden in a weapon's description, Grimdark rewards attention. It invites you to look deeper, to piece together the past, to understand not just what happened but why it matters. Visually, Grimdark art is breathtaking, not because it is clean or perfect, but because it feels real. Armor that looks like it's been through 1,000 battles, landscapes that scream of ancient trauma, characters that wear their pain on their skin, cinematic moments where light cuts through fog, where fire dances in the reflection of a blooded sword, where death feels like poetry. It's brutal, but it's not empty. It's beautiful, but not in a traditional sense. The brutal beauty of Grimdark lies in its refusal to lie to you, in its demand that you confront the world as it is, not as you wish it to be, in its unflinching exploration of fear, failure, corruption, and decay. And yet, within that, it finds space for courage, for loyalty, for sacrifice. In a grimdark story, the hero is not the one who wins. The hero is the one who fights even when they know they won't. They are the soldier holding the line so others can escape. The knight charging a dragon with a broken lance. The assassin choosing not to take the easy kill. The hunter showing mercy, the villain showing remorse. So the next time you walk through a crumbling city in a game, or watch a character struggle with a choice that has no right answer, or witness a world falling apart without a savior in sight, take a moment, not just to feel the darkness, but to see the detail in it, to recognize the care in its construction, the emotion in its design, the humanity buried in its dirt. And if you've made it this far, that means you get it. You understand that Grimdark isn't just a genre, it's a mirror. It reflects the world's cruelty but also its defiance. It shows us decay, but also determination. It doesn't hand you hope, it dares you to create your own. These stories may be soaked in blood and ash, but they are not empty. They're not here to shock for the sake of spectacle. They're here to remind us that even in the most broken worlds, meaning can still be carved out, inch by inch, choice by choice, battle by battle. Here in Grimdark Realm, that's what we explore. Not just the gore, not just the chaos, but the depth beneath it, the strategy behind the monsters, the philosophy behind the war, the art behind the violence. Because anyone can show you something dark, but only Grimdark makes you feel it. So if you ever rooted for the flawed warrior, if you've ever found truth in a world built on lies, if you've ever paused during a boss fight just to admire the way the light hits the ruins behind your enemy, this is your place. We're just getting started. There are more universes to fall into, more stories to dissect, more moments to burn into memory. Warhammer, The Witcher, Dark Souls, Berserk, Bloodborne, and beyond. Every world with shattered morals and crumbling thrones is a world we want to explore. So if you're ready to keep descending with us, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell because in this realm, new horrors and forgotten legends rise without warning. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What world haunts you? What character stayed with you long after the game ended? What's the moment that made you stop and think, this is Grimdark at its finest? We read everything, we respond, and we build this realm together. Until next time, stay sharp, stay defiant, and never let the darkness claim your mind. Because in Grimdark Realm, we don't seek the light, we walk through the dark, and make it our own. See you in the next descent.